Okay, so this lecture we're going to be talking about some of the leading theories on the origins of life. As I said in that presentation we did in class, we kind of addressed some of the misconceptions that come about when kids talk about evolution and natural selection in class. There is the statement, evolution relates to, okay, the origins of life. Evolution doesn't relate to the origins of life. It just relates to, okay, how did life change over time? Like after life originated, how did it change over time? But because this is biology and because the question is going to come up, we're going to talk about some of the leading theories in terms of the origins of life. And there are three scientific theories on the origins of life. The first one being spontaneous generation, second, extraterrestrial beginnings, and the third, primordial soup. At least those are the nicknames for all of these. So in terms of spontaneous generation, there is this guy, Reddy, back in the day, who he thought that life just kind of spontaneously generated. Life came from non-living things. And his reasoning for this was he left some like rotting meat out, and he noticed that after some time, flies originated. And this was actually, the spontaneous generation is a leading theory for a very long time. Even in the, like, from Greco-Roman all the way to like the Renaissance period, even a little bit past that. So like the example, flies from the rotting meat. Take it for what you will. Another one, extraterrestrial beginnings, which someone told me today in class that today they, for the first time, they are 15, 16 years old. For the first time, they found out that E.T., the movie E.T., extraterrestrial. My mind was blown. But anyway, extraterrestrial beginnings. So that's the theory that life came to Earth on meteorites. Not actually like, okay, we have little aliens and they came to Earth and whatnot, but just the fact that like you have meteorites that have hit the Earth constantly over time. And from one of those meteorites there was some type of organism that was alive and it landed on Earth and now we have life. And then primordial soup. And this is probably the leading theory in terms of the origins in life. Scientific theory. But basically you had a mixture of what we call chemical soup and energy, and from that we were able to come up with certain things like DNA, RNA. But like as I said before, the early atmosphere was very different than what it is now. A lot of very heavy gases. For instance, you had nitrogen, methane, hydrogen, and ammonia. Don't see oxygen anywhere in there. Like now, oxygen is like, we need oxygen to survive. If you were in early Earth's atmosphere today, if early Earth's atmosphere was around today, like no one would be alive. But the miller-urey experiment is typically what this is called, the primordial soup theory, what was used to support it, where you have these two scientists, Stanley Miller, I forget Urey's first name, but he put all these chemicals, methane, hydrogen, nitrogen, ammonia, into a vessel. He added some heat to it. Upon adding the heat, because that was kind of like sun, lightning, the light source that we had kind of back in the day, adding that spark helped to combine all these organic molecules. And because of these organic molecules being produced, being combined, you eventually produced amino acids, which we know are the building blocks of life. Because without amino acids, we wouldn't have proteins. Without proteins, we wouldn't have our traits that we see, including the way you look today. And that is it for the origins of life. Next lecture, it'll be the first life forms.